Hey, this is Dizzy Reed from Guns N' Roses, and you're watching GNR Central. Yeah!
Hey everybody, what's going on, and welcome to GNR Central. And today I want to talk about an article that appeared in Vulture.com back in 2013. And I thought it was kind of funny because it's a side of Axl Rose you really don't see a whole lot of. So this one article is dated December 30th, 2013, and it's written by a guy who rented his New York apartment to Axl Rose. And the title of the article is "What Happened When Axl Rose Rented My Apartment." So we said 3 years ago, which would have been in 2010. And 2010 Guns N' Roses were touring a lot. The guy said the legendary rocker was looking for a New York apartment to rent, and he thought it might be time to move from Malibu and wanted to test out New York. Axl was searching for a place without glaring sunlight but with lots of space, and I had both. My place is 5,300 square feet and almost entirely underground. It's in Tribeca, which is another benefit for him. It's celebrity friendly these days. His neighbors would be James Bond or Daniel Craig and Jon Stewart, as well as a gentleman's club next door. Axl came by to see my apartment twice. Once my wife was there, and she reported that he played enthusiastically with our dog and snorted at people who like spaces bathed in light, as the realtors say. He loved the place. Of course, I was worried. After all, Axl has a reputation for wrecking places. There is, for instance, this one headline from 2008 that said Guns N' Roses' Axl Rose was one of the worst hotel guests. Now, that article talks about the 2006 incident in which he bit a security guard's leg. I've already done a true story episode about that, but we won't focus too much on that right now. But he said apparently Axl's been reformed by age. By this time, he inspected my apartment. He was almost 50 years old and getting the belly to prove it. He'd apparently developed a respect for property rights and those of others included. Plus, Axl agreed to pay an extraordinary rent, and well, I needed the money. Just in case, he offered 6 months' rent as a security deposit, and Axl was in a hurry to get into the place, and so we quickly decamped to Brooklyn. Then came move-in day, and then it went. So did his second and third date. Still, Axl didn't move in. This pattern may be familiar to fans who waited for Guns N' Roses' album Chinese Democracy. My family and I followed Axl's travels via Google Alerts, and he was touring in Abu Dhabi and playing a birthday party in Russia. We were reportedly told by his very nice assistants, a mother and son team, probably referring to Betta and Fernando, that he was definitely planning to move to New York, which we were all informed he'd fallen in love with. He might even want a place to buy or even buy our place. This attachment was good news since, as the one-year mark approached, it was time to renew his lease. He still hadn't set foot in the apartment, and we learned that he had been to New York, though renting a roomy suite at a fancy hotel with a balcony and, well, lots of light. Still, he renewed, and this time at an increased rent. As far as I can tell, Axl never set foot in my place after his initial viewings. I wondered if he remembered that he'd rented it. Maybe a superstar lives this way, renting apartments just in case and then forgetting about them. Still, the rent checks kept coming, which is all I cared about. When it came time to renew for a third year, negotiations began, but then rationally his managements prevailed. Axl's ghost rental ended in the beginning of 2013 at the 2-year mark. People have mixed views of Axl Rose, but as a landlord I loved him. If he ever needs a recommendation, I'll happily write, quiet, undemanding, and pays his rent. The article kind of got me thinking, how much does an apartment in Tribeca rent for these days? Now, granted, it's been almost 8 years since that article talked about when Axl first made the visit to the apartment. But when you look in Tribeca, this is definitely one of the more expensive parts of New York City. The article said the apartment was around 5,300 square feet. So when you look at streeteasy.com, you can see a number of apartments for sale. One close one is 4,800 square feet. It's got 5 bedrooms and 3 baths. That one rents for almost $15,000 a month. There's another one that's about 4,000 square feet. That one's $18,000. But I kind of wonder, because it was like a below ground suite, it's probably cheaper to rent because it doesn't have the nice view and all the sunlight. Yeah, and it's really not that common to see a lot of places that are over, 5,000 square feet. A lot of the places I'm seeing on the website are like 2,500, 1,600, maybe 4,000. So the one that Axl was looking at, I'm guessing it was probably in like the $15,000 to $25,000 a month range. And people may say, well, the reunion wasn't happening then. How do you have all this money? You have to remember, Guns N' Roses played some private gigs like they mentioned in that article. I saw some of the private gigs that they did. One was in France in 2012. Apparently the band got paid $1 million to just go do that one show. The one in Russia, they probably made comparable money. And then, of course, they have their royalties. And then they've also got their touring, which they're making a lot of money on. But I kind of wonder, because in 2010, Axl was still notorious for going on late, and that cuts into your profits on your tour. But yeah, I thought that was a cool story. Let me know if you guys live in New York City and you ever been to Tribeca and looked at some of those apartments, because some of them are just crazy. Like even a 2,200 square foot apartment in Tribeca, some of them go as high as 20 grand a month, and that's US dollars. That's not even Canadian dollars. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and be sure to subscribe if you love GNR as much as I do, and go check us out on GNRCentral.com for the latest and greatest Guns N' Roses news. Take care.
You're watching GNR